Hey there, everybody. Robert Taylor with Wonderscape Creations. We are now going to continue on with the combo system. We're going to get some heavy attacks made and then get them added so that we are able to have some pretty cool effects. And it's going to introduce a couple of additional concepts to the whole combat system. So, first thing we're going to do, the very first thing, is we're going to make the attacks. So, I wanted it to open up right here, but of course it chose not to, and that is fine. We're going to come to gas, abilities, sword combo. Now, these two new abilities are going to show up right here because I said so. Anyways, we now need to make two. We can either make two new animations or add them right here. I'm going to keep it true to what we've been doing. I'm going to add them in here. So we've got this bad boy going. Now let's go ahead, and the first one we want is the attack 8 sequence. So I'll come here in the content drawer. Essential animations, sword, animations, UE5, sequence, sword shield, attack. And I just realized that this was going to be made impossible by doing it this way. But we want number 8. Oh my goodness. Okay. Was not made very intuitively. No, I'm going to stand by that. Okay, so back here to sword combo. I will right click, open a new window. This is the one that we want. And we're going to add this one in there. So now that I have it on my second screen, come over here. I'm going to drag it in. And then I will right click, new montage section, combo 05. Actually, I'm going to be true with this. It comes after 2, 2.5. Here we go. So we're going to remove the link. Let's preview this one. As you can see, it's a shield bash. Excuse me. So that's what we're going to make sure that we get. Let's go ahead and pause this bad boy. Make it bigger. And we want the damage to be happening the whole time that he's charging. It's funny that his head is in there, but it is what it is. From this point on, we want a melee scan until we get to right there. Right there. And then we want it to be a weapon. However, we don't want it to be the same weapon that we have right here. We want it to be the shield. So we're going to come here, select this, all tags match, and we want to go into inventory, item, weapon, one-handed, and shield. So it's going to look for the shield. And the trace we're going to do is a box sweep. And if I recall, it's 30, 35, yes. 30, 30, and 5. There we go. And we are good to go on that one. We will hit save so we don't lose any of our work, just in case. And then the final one that we're going to do, SSH Power 01. Let me find that one as well. Add this one in here. And new montage section, combo 03.5. Have it right here. I'm going to break the link. Now if we play this one, that's what's going to happen. All right. Okay, as you can see, it's jolting back. That's a good thing for us to look over here. I'm going to open that in a new window. The reason for that is enable root motion is off. So let's turn that on. We'll hit save. And now when we play it, okay, for some reason it's still happening. We're going to be okay with it for the time being. Let's go ahead and open up the sword explosion animation. And we want a new cast in here. So as soon as it hits right there, we are going to right click. We want a notify of cast. There's nothing in here. It's just going to cause whatever's supposed to cast. Hit save, and we are now ready to continue on. We don't need these anymore. I'm going to close them up to keep things a little cleaner. And we will close that out. Now the next thing we need to do are to create the two abilities. So we'll go to content drawer here. And the first ability that we will make is the shield bash. So we're going to right click, ability, combat, ability underscore attack. Hit select. We'll call this GA sword combo shield bash. And we will open the bad boy up. And we are going to give it the correct animation here, sword combo. And this one was combo 02.5. And for the attack, we will make it primary. We'll do a new subtag, E. Add new tag. So this is primary E. Block abilities with tag. We want to block the secondary. So ability, attack, not primary, secondary. All right, compile and save. That is, I believe, all we need to do with this one. Oh, there's one more thing. Because we don't currently want motion matching on. We'll be turning that stuff on in a minute. Compile and save. And then let us go ahead and do the next ability. So this next one, we will again open up our content drawer, blueprint class. This one will be combat ability cast. Select GA sword combo explosion is what I'm going to call it. We're going to open it up. Now, before we get on to the cast section, we're going to go ahead and get the animation set up. Combo 03.5. My brain is messing with me here. Yep. Okay. Then, of course, we want this one to actually be, we don't want it to be cast. Ability, primary, add subtag of F. And we want to block the secondary attack. Now, to the cast. What we want is we don't want ability activation, not when we're in the combo. We want it to be gameplay event. We're not going to be utilizing the targeting system for this. It's just going to spawn an actor and do its thing. You'll have wait for confirmation and spawn actor. When you have the targeting system, there's the targeting preset, perform async targeting, things that we don't need at the moment. So spawn actor. And now we need to make the actual cast effect class. Which is we're going to just use the melee hit because we haven't messed with effects yet. And now we need the cast actor class. There are none. We are going to be making our own. So let us open this back up. And because it's part of the sword combo, I'm going to keep it in the sword combo. Right click, blueprint class, ninja, combat, cast, actor. Select, and it is a BP underscore sword explosion. Now we will go ahead and open this up. And we will go ahead and, yeah, that's what we did. Come in here into the event graph. Now we will not be using any of these. We especially won't be using event begin play. This actor does not care about event begin play. Well, it can if you want it to, but for our purposes, it doesn't matter. So we're going to come here to interfaces, and then I believe it is combat cast interface, and we want to start cast. This is effectively begin play. This is what we want. Now we need to also make sure we right click and add call to parent function, so we don't lose anything that Uriel has done on his end. Now the next thing we need to do is create a function. And we need to call it set location from weapon location. Now, this is going to override something when we're all said and done. And what I mean is if you go to the class defaults, you have should ignore source. That's checked. Excuse me. So if you want this on, say it's actually a heal over time effect, so it would heal you too. Reinforce hit results, that is checked. Try align with floor. That's what's important here. We are removing that when we do what we're about to do. Then visibility, and we have a few things here. Now, since we are right here, let's go to the cast sphere, and we're going to look for, search for hidden. We're going to remove hidden in game because we're not going to mess with special effects or anything. We just want to show that the combo works. We'll get to all the prettifying stuff later on in the series. So we want to use that to see where it's going. And the size I have the sphere radius at is 500. Pretty big area. So now here in the set location from weapon location, we want to use a function called make gameplay tag query. So we're looking for a tag. And the tag that we are looking for, by now you should already recognize this. We've used it in several locations. We want the shield. Okay. Now we want to do get weapon It's from the Ninja Combat Cast. Is it this one? No. One second. Let me find which one it is exactly, because there's a few of them. Okay. So that's why I had a hard time finding it. Drag off of this pen. Get weapon. There we go. Perfect. Now the target is self. So we're good to go here. And the first thing we want to do is we want to make sure that this is valid. We don't want to crash the system. It should be there, but in cases like this, we don't want some freak accident cause some destruction. Now, the next thing we want to do is to drag out of here and get actor location. And then we need to right click in the window, set actor location. Now this is going to set the actor location of this cast actor. That's what we are doing here. And this is all we need to test to make sure that that is working. And once we utilize the ability, I'll show you one other thing that we can do to make this a little more precise on how we may want it. So now that we have the sword explosion done, let's go back to the event graph, because right now we're not calling anything. We need to go ahead and get this function. So it'll do its thing. And then we want to set a delay for now. I'm not big on delays, but trying to speed up the process a little bit. You can clean it up as you see fit. We then want to drag out and do deactivate. There we go. This will deactivate it. This function is right here. There's a lot of things to look at. There's a lot to figure out. And in time, we will figure it all out together. So now that we have that done, let's go back to our explosion. And in the cast actor class, we can put that in there. Now let me make sure we have everything else set. Looks like we do. Compile and save. And now we need to open up our state tree. Here is our old friend. Now we need to right click. We're going to add a child. We're going to name this heavy attacks. So it is a sibling of primary attacks. This is just where we are going to be placing attacks that don't belong in the primary stuff. And they tend to be heavy. We will add a state, child state, and call this heavy 01. And now let's go ahead and have our fun. So the first thing we are going to do is make sure, okay, we set up our condition. It's going to be another integer compare. Remember, we're going to compare it with the combo count, and it needs to be at 2. And if it is at 2 when we activate it, then the task, activate combo task, will do ability, attack, primary, E. Okay. Now, once we have that, we will want to hit a transition and tree success. Tree succeeded, sorry. Now then, how are we going to get here? It's a fantastic question. And we are going to do that by, we see here, we're looking for the count to be +2. And for that to happen, it happens in attack 2. It's going to, once we do attack 2, it's going to change the counts to 2. And this is where we want it to happen. So now we will create an additional transition. We will come over here and we will hit the plus. My brain is taking a moment. Give me a second. And just for my sanity, I like to keep things in order. And we are going to do on event, required event. We want the events to be combat, event, combo, attack, secondary. And once that happens, we will go to heavy 1. I believe that is all we need to do there. Perfect. Yes, we are good to go. Now, let's go ahead and duplicate this. We'll make it heavy 2. And we want this to say 3. And we want this one to be F. The activate combo ability. Okay, we are good to go. And I'll increment the count to 3. And tree succeeded. Now to do that, we want to go into attack 3. And we're going to create another event. I'm going to move it up above the tree succeed for my own sanity. On event. Again, we want it to be combat event combo attack secondary. And for this one, sorry, give me a second. Oh, that's right, I'm in the wrong place. And for this one, we want to change it to heavy 2. And there we go. Now that we have it done here, a couple more things we got to do. Let's go into the combo ability that we have. We need to add 2 new attacks here. The first one being the shield bash. Then the next one being the explosion. Compile and save. Now, let's open the content drawer. Let's go back into our inputs, input handlers. We have this primary attack underscore event. Let's go ahead and duplicate it. And we're going to name this one secondary attack. We will open it up and we're going to change it from primary to secondary. And then we're going to change the primary attack to secondary attack. Compile and save. And now we go back in here to the NIS controls. And we add the new attack event. Secondary attack event. There we go. Hit save. Now then, let's check in action. 1, 2, shield bash. Look at that. Now, 1, 2, 3, explosion. Yeah. Now, if you saw that, 1, 2, 3, explosion. That line is floating. It's because it's going to the Z of the sword where it stops. Now, if you don't want that, if you want it to be flush with the ground, there's something we can do. Let's go to our BP sword explosion, just set location. And there's this really cool thing that we can do because the functions are absolutely everywhere. We first want to get the owner, because we know there's an owner. We technically probably should do an is valid, but I'm not going to at this time. We will then do get combat mesh. Because remember, we set that in the third person in our player character when we were setting up combat to begin with. We will then do get world location. So now you have two options. You can either have it spawn with the player character directly in the middle, and in some cases that's what you want. But in other cases, you might want it in a specific location, like where the weapon is at, or a weapon socket is at, but you still want the Z where the player's feet is at. Now, the reason we can't just do get owner and then get the location is because the capsule is floating in the air too. Because the capsule, when you make it elongate it for the character, it goes up and down. The mesh, however, the pivot point is on the floor in between its feet. So we are going to go ahead and have some fun here. First thing I will do is pull out of the new location and type make vector. Then we are going to right click on these pins and split the pins. And I'll put X into X, Y into Y, and then the meshes Z into Z. Compile, save. 1, 2, 3, bam, it's flush to the ground. And that's what we were doing. That is part 2 of the combo system. Now we've done everything that has been introduced to us. Like I said, in the future, we're going to do a lot more fun stuff to make the state tree check to see if we are dual wielding or if it's sword and shield to determine which trees to go to or which branches to go to. But more on that in the future. I hope you enjoyed yourself and have a great day.